Sweet. What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the 5th episode of the College Bass Connect podcast. My name is Brooks, and on this episode, we got a special guest, Mr. Mathew Hall from Arkansas State University. He's the president over there, and he's going to be teaching y'all a little bit about how you can join their team, a little bit about their team, and kind of how the steps to get into college bass fishing. So get it going. How's it going, man?
Oh, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. So I like to start these episodes off by kind of letting you tell us a little bit about your fishing career, as well as how you became the president over there, and kind of just some steps on how you got into college fishing in general.
So when I was coming up in high school fishing was just becoming like a big thing. And we kind of fished on and off with some high schools around Arkansas. And then we decided, my high school and a couple other in Central Arkansas decided to start a new trail. And it was the Arkansas High School Bassers. And when I graduated high school, they were averaging about 100 to 120 boats a tournament, which for high school fishing, especially when it's not one of we weren't affiliated with BASS or TBF or anything like that. So that was kind of a big deal. And then when I did graduate, we ended up actually blowing up our boat motor. So going into my freshman year, I didn't have a boat. And so that was a long year. And we finally got, then my freshman year was when COVID hit all the campuses, because I'd got in contact with the bass team and I'd known them, but they didn't really have a spot. Nobody really needed a partner at the time. So then COVID hit and we got lost. Everybody lost track of time. Nobody knew what was really going on. And so we had a guy step up during my sophomore year, and he was like, "Hey, I'm going to be the president because I just got an email saying we're going to lose our eligibility status if we don't reapply." So he stepped up, and I had gotten a boat over the summer, so I started fishing, and I fished just about every tournament we went to. And then when he graduated, we had a boat, and the people that fished, it was pretty much me. Everybody kind of knew that I was planning on taking it over, and I'm hoping to expand the team a little bit more than what we're at now.
Awesome. Yeah. So when you were in high school, is this something that you were wanting to do, or were you planning on going to Arkansas State, or was the bass fishing team kind of your main purpose for going to school at Arkansas State?
My main purpose for going was definitely academics, but most of the schools in Arkansas had a bass fishing team by the time I'd come in. So, that at first, when I was my younger years in high school, I was definitely looking at it as, if they don't have a bass fishing team, I'm probably going to find another school that's equal as far as academics. But by the time I graduated high school, just about every college in Arkansas had one.
Awesome. Yeah. So is Arkansas State, are y'all like actively reaching out to kids? Are y'all recruiting, or is it mainly just like a club? So you come to school there and you can sign up pretty easily?
We're not really recruiting because we don't have a whole lot to offer, if that makes sense. So it's really, we just want to get our name out there for the high school kids that do come in and want to fish, or like the kids that were kind of like me. Like, it's not as big of a part in their college decision, but if there is one, it definitely helps.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. So y'all aren't doing like scholarships. Most teams out there, I think there's only like a select few.
No, we're not Montebello and Bethel.
Yeah, it's hard to compete against those guys sometimes. But yeah, that's pretty interesting. So how many members do y'all have right now on the team there?
So we've got quite a few not quite a few, but I'd say probably 15 members, but ones that actively fish, we're normally pretty good for about 3 boats a tournament. So, and we're maybe on occasion a 4th, but it's kind of, a lot of people just kind of sign up and don't show up.
Yeah, no, we have that same problem here. I fish for Texas Tech, so it's kind of one of those deals. We're driving 10 hours to tournament, so it's kind of whoever we can get there, we can get there. So I saw that y'all are actually getting some sponsorships and stuff this year. Is that something that y'all are trying to
Yes.
incorporate more? Hmm.
The yeah, the guy at Fisher Dye reached out to us, but I'm an engineering student, so I'm really really busy all the time, and I try to get out there, and I'm gonna keep trying to, but it's really hard to find local sponsors because a lot of them, I mean, if they're not in the industry, then like it really doesn't do a whole lot of good for them. Which I mean, I really can't blame them. So I need to get out there a lot more, but it's also really really hard to find people that want to do it.
No, yeah, I 100% agree. Like, I think it'd be pretty beneficial for teams if we could somehow get a select group of companies that are actually wanting to help sponsor some of the small teams.
Yeah, and
We're having that problem too.
that's the thing. You see all these companies that, I mean, they sponsor pros, but like they really don't have a whole lot going on for college teams. Like I think we got like Tackle Warehouse, and then Fisher Dye, like you said, or that him, and then I mean that's about it. And I mean Lou's has a program that they do, but really the best deals we can get on like fishing stuff is going to be through the AC, the Association of Collegiate Anglers, because they have all those sponsorships and deals. But it's like us as a school, we need help getting to like tournaments. Pounding gas is crazy, and most boats don't run normal unleaded gas.
No, I 100% agree. We've been taking 8 to 10 hour drives every single tournament because we're deep West Texas. So yeah, no, we're trying to do the same thing. So what were you saying?
Luckily, we've got an Arkansas series in the fall that they're not too bad on gas, but come next spring, it's about to be a mayhem.
Awesome. So what trails are y'all fishing this year? Y'all going to do the MLF and
So MLF doesn't really come close to Arkansas a whole lot, and we try to stay. I mean, we've got a big list of them, and you're talking about driving 8 to 10 hours. We try to stay within about 6 hours, and MLFs are just they're so crazy expensive. It's like $75 for a membership, and then $150 a boat. It's like they're crazy, and they're on Fridays, so it's like they're really not. That's one of those things that is kind of all these teams that show up and are fishing for a week and a half straight, and then we're over here like, no, we showed up the day before.
yeah, no, I agree. I wish people like kind of understood that about college bass fishing like more, that it's often hard for schools that are traveling along to like miss 2 weeks of school, especially as an engineering
Well,
major.
yeah, I mean, it's like I don't know. We probably don't need to get into that on here, but you know, there's some schools that it's just like they're there for a whole 2 weeks ahead.
It's hard to
I
compete.
mean, it's like
Yeah.
how are we going to compete with this?
Yeah, it's kind of like I think a lot of small bass clubs are more like for fun, and then there's more like the dudes like Auburn, the top schools. They have an edge on us, but yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
cool.
because we've talked to a couple of them at tournaments, and they say they do a lot of their schooling online. So it's like I can't really compete with that. So I mean, we do it for fun. I mean, we did compete with them last spring. I mean, we had a guy finish fifth at the Big Bass Bash, and that was pretty impressive. That was a fun time. But that's one of those big bass tournaments where any bite can make you. That
Mhm.
kind of levels out the playing field because any bite can put you in the standings.
Awesome. So, if you had any advice to a high school kid, would you say that if you really wanted to be a top competitor in college bass, you should probably do online, or should you go to a school that's
If you want to be a top competitor, I would say you need to go to a school that is built around bass fishing.
mhm.
And I mean, I don't know where those are. I know that Bethel's pretty good about it. I know Montevelo's pretty there, but they've always got so many teams. And you know, and I'm not like upset with that, but if you really have to have time on the water to do really really good consistently. Everybody now and then can show up a day or two before a tournament and get on fish, but to be consistently good, you need that week and a half to get on fish.
Yep. No, I agree 100%. So let's talk about Arkansas State a little bit more. So if a kid wants to join Arkansas State, how can they reach out to you, or what should they do before they show up to school? Should they contact you directly?
So follow our socials. They're on Facebook. It's Arkansas State Bass Fishing. And then on Instagram, it's A State Fishing Team. And they have contact buttons that have my personal number, or you can message the school or message the account. And that's the best way. And if you go on the school's website, you can search we're technically a club sport, and you can look at the team president and vice president, and it has our emails. But unless you know what you're doing, that was kind of hard to get to. The best way to find us would be on social media, definitely.
Awesome. Yeah, for sure. I'll put your and then A State Bass Fishing in the description below so that everyone can go take a look. But if you had, we'll end it on this one. So if you had one piece of advice to guys that are in high school right now that are wanting to join college fishing, what would you tell them?
Stay on the water as much as possible. But have a partner and have a boat. It's not really a requirement, but it's kind of hard to get into it if you don't have a boat to fish out of and somebody to fish with.
Yep. I 100% agree. Well, I think this is going to be very beneficial and give guys some more realistic expectations to look forward to when they're joining college bass fishing. So I appreciate you coming on here.
Yes, sir. No problem.
Have a good one.
Thank you, too.